Good evening. What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing tonight? Figured I'd hop on and say hello to everybody. Didn't get a chance to come on last night. Addie and I have been super busy. We finally landed our apartment, so we've been signing papers and getting utilities switched over. We got our gas and electric on, yada, 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 for those that know what's involved in renting and switching things over. Got everything set up, man. It's talk about blessings of recovery. Um, we're actually in our second, well, this is our first apartment and we have a second apartment now. So it's crazy. Because we're still, yeah, balling my ass. We're paying rent, at two different places right now, just to give ourselves plenty of time, to get situated and to get moved in. We're both working full time, and to be honest with you guys, I didn't want to put too much on either one of our plates too quick. When I get overwhelmed, I get in my head and start to lose my marbles because what marbles I have left. Because I struggle with mental health too. And when I get overwhelmed, that's an issue for me. It's a red flag. So, I just thought it'd be easier for both of us just to, slow roll it, take it easy, and just kind of ease into the move, and we can get things over as we can. And that's what we're doing. We took a trip over there today and dropped off a few things and just made sure everything was kosher. And man, I am excited. I won't have to sit on my bed with a crazy makeshift ugly ass background and curtain, and I'll have my own little studio to go live in soon. So it's gonna be awesome. There may be a short stint where I'm not able to do live streams. I might have to do it from my phone for a while. Not gonna let that stop me. I'll still do them. May not be every day, so just heads up. For those that look forward to the live streams every night, I'm gonna apologize now because they may not happen every night. But I'm super excited. Thanks, Patty. We're super stoked. Um, it's blessings, man, just by doing the right thing, doing the next right thing, no matter what, not picking up. Um, Topic: the JFT through NA talks about relapse today. So I thought it would be proper to speak about the relapse and the reading, and not only that, bring up their IP number 6, which is their relapse and recovery IP. For those that are familiar with the NA side of things, um, it's a subject to talk about. It's something that happens, doesn't have to happen. It is a part of my story, but it doesn't have to be a part of yours. Um, it's something to talk about. Let me bring it up. I'm going to read the reading. If you guys want to comment in the chat while I'm reading, please do. Addie is in the kitchen commenting and cooking and multitasking all at the same time. She's making pico, and the onions are making my eyes water. They are super strong. So if any of you guys are hungry right now, I'm sorry. Mikey, I'm sure you're listening, brother. She's making healthy food, not junk food. No junk food for Mikey. I love you, brother. All right, let me bring up the JFT. Relapse says there will be times, however, when we really feel like using. They happen. Even a little over a year and a half in recovery, guys, there's times where the thoughts crop into my head. I'm just being honest. They still happen. We want to run. We want to feel lousy. We need to be reminded where we came from, and that it will be worse this time. If we pick up, it's going to be worse. It's going to be tenfold. Trust me. And this is when we need our program the most. Whether you work NA, AA, CA, I don't care which A you work. I'm not particularly, it doesn't matter. A drug is a drug is a drug. Just if drugs aren't your thing, replace it with your drug of choice. That's when we need our programs the most, guys. It says, if you were contemplating a relapse, we should think that our using through, think it through, I can't talk tonight. Think it through to the bitter ends. It says, for many of us, those ends include severe medical problems, imprisonment, or even death. And for many of us have known people that have relapsed many years clean. Clean time doesn't equal recovery. That's why they say many of us have known people with decades clean that have fallen off. Some have died. Some haven't made it, only to die from their disease. It says, but there is a death that accompanies a return to active addiction that may be worse than physical death. I already know what it's going to say. That is the spiritual death we experience when we are separated from our higher power. If we use the spiritual relationship we have nurtured over the years will weaken and perhaps just disappear, just go away. We will feel truly alone. I have felt that feeling, guys. Thank God that it didn't disappear. It was weakened, trust me. And I truly felt alone. I was hopeless and homeless for a long period of my life. But I'm just blessed that, even though it was weakened, it never did disappear. It was always there for me to reach out and grab. There is no doubt that we're going to have periods of darkness in our recovery. It's not going to be fucking rainbows and unicorns every day. Life's going to show up. Usually for me, when it shows up, it's a shitstorm. Says there is only one way we can make it through those troubling times, with faith. We believe that our higher power is within us, and we will know all will be well. Trust and faith in the process. Surrendering daily is so important. No matter how badly we feel in our recovery, a relapse is never the answer. I'm reading it again because that is super important. Let that sink in. No matter how badly we feel, guys, in our recovery, no matter how bad life shows up, a relapse is never the answer. Using is never the answer to anything, period. Together, we will find recovery. We will stay clean. We. Together, we are stronger. The therapeutic value of one person, one addict, one alcoholic helping another. The darkness will lift, and we will find a deeper connection to our higher power. This for today, I thank my higher power for the gift of whatever A you guys work. This one says NA because it's an NA reading. I know that relapse is not the way out, ever. Whatever challenges I may face, whatever life may throw at us, I will face them with the God of my understanding. Super powerful reading, guys. Relapse is never the answer. That spiritual death it's rough. It is really rough. My higher power was always there for me. I was always the one that ran. The tools in my recovery toolbox were always there. I just chose to not pick them up. I closed the lid and kicked it aside. These were all choices that I made. Now, IP number 6, the recovery and relapse IP. Let me bring that one up here real quick. This is a really, really good IP that they have put out. It's kind of long, so bear with me. I hope you guys stick it out to listen to it. This is a really good IP. Some that have been working the program don't even realize these IPs exist. To be quite honest with you, I didn't know they existed for a really long time. And when I started reading them, I was wowed, and how much I related to them and how important they are. As many people think that recovery is simply just not using drugs. Boy, is that far from the truth. Mental health, there's all kinds of struggles that go hand in hand with our drug addiction, our alcoholism, as they consider a relapse a sign of complete failure and long periods of abstinence a sign of complete success. Dry drunk syndrome. When we are in a recovery program of NA or AA, we have found that this perception, too simplistic, have to remember, has had some involvement in our fellowship, a relapse may be the jarring experience that brings about a more rigorous application to the program. I am living, walking proof of that sentence right there. It took me decades before I had that jarring experience, and I started applying that rigorous application to my program. I'm living proof it works. By the same token, we have observed some members who remain abstinent for a long period of time, whose dishonesty and self-deceit still prevents them from enjoying complete recovery and abstinence within society. The dry drunk syndrome, guys. They're not being completely honest with themselves, nor are they being honest with people that love and care about them in the program. I'm sure we all know a few that fit in that category. We'll leave it at that. That's complete and continuous abstinence, however, in a close association and in identification within others in the group you work, it's still best ground for growth. Says, although the addicts are basically the same in kind, we do, as individuals, differ in degree from sickness at a recovery rate. They'll recover at different rates, different times, different ways. There are many in times when a relapse lays the groundwork for complete freedom. Again, I relate to that. It did lay the ground for complete freedom that I'm experiencing today, and I am very thankful for that, for this program, for me getting it. And other times, that freedom can only be achieved by a grim and abstinent willingness to hang on to abstinence, come hell or high water, until a crisis pass. An addict who, by any means, can lose, even for a time, the need or desire to use, has a free choice over impulsive thinking and compulsive action, OCD. Who struggles with that? This guy does, for sure. I'm OCD as hell. Yeah, where am I at? They has reached a turning point that may be a decisive factor in his recovery, his or her recovery. Feeling of true independence and freedom hangs there in times and in balance. To step out alone and run over lives again draws us, yet we seem to know how, or seem to know that what we have to come from dependence on a power greater than ourselves, and from giving and receiving the help from other people's and acts of empathy. The therapeutic value of one person, one addict helping another. Many times in our recovery, old bugaboos, I like the words they put in here, will haunt us. Old people, places, and things will haunt us. Life may again become meaningless, monotonous, and boring. I know when I first came into recovery, the first 30, 60, 90 days, it was awkward. It was uncomfortable. I didn't know how to be around other people without being high. So when I was out in public and I was around other people, or I was trying to be not socially awkward or romantic in a relationship, it was weird, guys. It was really weird not having my DOC to increase my ego. It just, I went from being super shy to Superman, all in an instant. It was crazy how that worked for me. As we may tire mentally in repeating our new ideas and tire physically in our new activities, yet we know that if we fail to repeat them, we will surely take up our old practices, our old thoughts, our old behaviors. They'll come back. Trust me, they will. We suspect that if we do not use what we have, we will, if we don't use what we have now, we're going to lose what we have. In these times, these times are often periods of our greatest growth. Our minds and bodies seem tired of all of it, yet dynamic forces of change or true conversation deep within may be working to give us the answers that alter our inner motivation to change our lives. I like to call a lot of that my core issues, your core issues, our core issues, that deep pain, those deep gremlins within us, um, that I know I personally wasn't open and honest about for a really, really long time. And they haunted me, and I allowed that. It was all by choice. Um, but I'm starting to find the answer and the help with those gremlins and those deep core issues, because I share about them honestly all the time now, where before I never did. Says recovery as experienced through the 12 steps is our goal. Got to work the steps. That was one thing that I personally struggled with. Sponsorship was a struggle for me. Working the steps was super hard for me. Um, Says not just mere abstinence. Can't just say you're going to whatever A program you go to and you're just poof, you're recovered, you're healed. There's a lot more work involved, guys, and it took me a long time to realize that. Says to improve ourselves takes a lot of effort. We didn't become addicted in one day, nor are we going to heal in one day. Too easy does it. Slow yourself down, slow your roll. In sense, there is no way in the world to graft a new idea on a closed mind. Remain open-minded and willing. Yes, I'm sharing as I read, because these are the thoughts that are coming to my head as I read this. An opening must be made somehow. We can do this only for ourselves. We're the only ones that can make that choice. We're the only ones that can do it. We're the only ones that can put in the work. Says we need to recognize two of our seamlessly inherent enemies, apathy and procrastination. And I struggle with procrastinating myself to this day. But it's getting better, guys. You know, I put shit off all the time, but I have people that love and care about me that call me out on my bullshit and hold me accountable. That's huge, huge, huge role of a sponsor. You know, and if you have the right sponsor, they will do that. They will help you with these things. People that love and care about you in your program will see it, and they will say something to you if they care. Our resistance to change seems built in. I'm stubborn. I'm bullheaded. I resist. I'm guilty of all this. Yeah, I can't read. Where am I at? Yeah, resistant to change and build. What happens, man? My eyes blur out. I can't read shit. That's the only, it says it seems like only a nuclear blast of some kind will bring about any alteration or initiation other than course of action. A relapse, if we survive it, may provide the change for the demolition process. A relapse, and sometimes the subsequent death of someone close to us, can do the job of awakening us to necessity for vigorous personal action. You know, I just lost a friend. A lot of you guys know that. And, you know, it didn't, thank God for NA, and thank God for my recovery and the people that love and care about me that helped me through this, you know, because death has always been a huge trigger for me. And it did, by choice, cause many relapses for me. One being my father, the other being my mother, two people I love dearly. You know, when my father passed away, I didn't even get to say goodbye to him. I wasn't there at his own funeral, because his son was high. I was using that day. I was using the night before, and I continued to use until the money ran out, guys. And I wasn't there. You know, I'm still healing from that. But I continue to do the next right thing. I've made amends where I've been able to make amends. I've cleared my side of the street. Um, I've made some apologies, even though I'm nowhere near that step, nor should I probably even be doing it right now, but it just felt right and it was received. And things are good and they're getting a lot better, especially with family. There was just a few family members that we needed to have a talk, and it was inevitable, and there was no way I could stop it. And it just happened the way it happened. But yeah, you know, I had to, yeah, I don't know. I'm lost for words on that one, because it affects me. It's something that I deal with daily. But it says relapse sometimes, you know, with the death of a loved one, you know, can wake us up. How many of you guys relate to that? How many of you guys have lost a loved one throughout the years, to addiction, and I'm sure there's a bunch of people raising their hands because there's been a lot of death daily because of this fucking disease. Um, it's woke you up, it's got the ball rolling for you. It's opened up your eyes. Um, Super important, guys. Um, Stay vigilant in your recovery. You know, use the recovery tools in your toolbox. That's why I always say, um, to surrender daily and stay vigilant in your recovery and reach out when you're struggling and share open and honest. If you're having a shitty day, share about it. If you're having a great day, share about it. That lived experience of each and every one of you guys in these rooms, in the programs, on these live streams, is without parallel. It is a very, very powerful tool for anyone to use in your recovery toolbox. And I use mine daily, and it's super powerful. Just reaching out and getting experience, strength, and hope from someone else when I'm struggling, when you're struggling, it helps. Really, really, really helps, guys. Relapse is never the answer. It's unfortunately something that happens. And if you're given the opportunity to come back, do the right thing, and no matter what, just don't pick up. Just do not pick up. I haven't been keeping up with the chat. I know Addie has. I appreciate you guys being in here tonight. She is completing dinner as I chat with you guys. I am going to eat my dinner and prop my feet up. We've had a busy week. We've had a really busy week with all the change going on in our lives. But I'm super proud. I'm grateful for the opportunities that recovery has given me and continues to bless me with day in and day out. We are, Patty. We're really enjoying this. I mean, we're dreading to move, but we're excited to move, all in the same sentence, if that makes any sense. I have to be careful with my health, my knee, my struggles. I have a hard enough time going up and down steps alone by myself as it is. And we're going to be moving. So we're going to be calling all the recovery warriors locally, hopefully here in the next less than 10 days. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Definitely keep on rocking in the free world. But yeah, calling all local Dayton recovery warriors in the Dayton, Kettering area. I need some help. Brother needs some help moving, and I'm only moving a mile away. So it's a short trip. It's a small U-Haul full of stuff, and it's going to be there. So it actually won't be a hard move. Might even be willing to buy some pizza. I would definitely be willing to buy some pizza. But yeah, if anybody listens to this later and wants to help, you guys know how to get a hold of me. I love each and every one of you guys. Thank you for my recovery. Thank you for participating in your recovery tonight. I love each and every one of you guys. Mikey, I will call you if you want me to. Just drop me a message. Addie said something about giving you a call. And I'm going to eat my dinner and relax. Self-care before I have to get up again and go to work at 7 in the morning. Love you guys. Everyone have a great night. We will catch you guys later. Stay vigilant, stay positive, and participate in your recovery. Love you guys. We'll talk to you later.